said it yesterday. I was like, I feel like I'm more human than I've ever felt. You know, I'm like, dang, you know, I break, and I did get something good out of it. Like now, my nose goes completely flat. Like, so if you hit me in the nose, I don't think you can do anything.
Yellow. Even before Mike Perry came into the UFC, his intention, all he cared about, was landing his big right hand against you. He didn't care about form, he didn't care about technique. All he cared about was planting his big right hand on your face any way possible. Throughout that process, being reckless, trying to find that big right hand, we found out, he had a pretty remarkable chin. On top of that though, there was always this simple purity to him. An unadulterated desire to smash. He was a thug raised in an impoverished environment, truly. When you saw this man fight, there was something pure, carnal about the man. You can tell his heart is not evil. He's just a byproduct of his environment. And on the grand stage, relying on that durability, phenomenal physical ability, his intention was always smash, smash, smash. Land that power, hoping it would connect. It was very exciting to watch him get touched up over and over again, only to land that one big bomb, boom! Just like that, the lights had no choice but to go out. Unfortunately for him though, the competition would receive more time to study him. They would only get better and gain more to understand about his fighting style, how to better prepare for it. Against the higher echelon of the UFC, he would simply find himself having more and more trouble with his brute force alone. Thus, he too was forced to evolve. Mike Perry did grow significantly, comparatively to his UFC debut. He did get better at his game, there's more depth to it. Unfortunately for him though, it still was not enough. Hard work alone has never been enough. After all, if it was, every woman in Africa would likely rule the world. What he lacks, Jeff Neal demonstrated, even though Mike's techniques had evolved. Even though he's growing as a martial artist, there's one component Jeff Neal truly had over Mike. It was his ability to read and adapt in a fight. Mike goes in with the intention of crushing you. That's very consistent throughout. It's malice, malice, malice. Jeff, he went in with notes, which were made before the fight, and of course, he kept them during. Even looking at him, Jeff was loose. He looked relaxed. His aura exuded confidence, and he had a good bounce to him, which was displayed throughout the course of the bout with his footwork. What does this tell me? His mind is in a state where it can access its higher cognitive functions. When you're angry, emotional, you feel a power spike in your vessel. This feeling can become very addictive. I'm sure it has for Mike, but it's very hard to read what is happening. You kind of get lost in it. I did not see or sense any cortical inhibition from Jeff Neal. He was calm, relaxed. In his lucidity, what did Jeff Neal see? He made note of a tendency. Mike Perry has a tendency of dropping his hand when loading up for power. A traditional boxing punch always remains defensively responsible. It comes out on a straight line, with the shoulder replacing the guard, ensuring your chin is safe. Then, on the retraction, it comes back on that line to minimize the window of a possible counter against chin. Mike Perry, he does not care for this rule. He does not seek to just merely touch you. He wants to crush you. He wants to really hurt you. His intention in a fight is work, push, endure, crush. He wants to take you out. Even as he expands his arsenal, increasing his game, he isn't setting up traps, he isn't reading your tendencies. He just kind of wants to connect as hard as he possibly can. In this moment here, Jeff used that intention against him. Feigning with his lead, watch Mike Perry, he lowers his level, he slips, lowers his hand. Even his expression changes to, I want to hurt you. The moment that hand dropped to maximize power, in came Jeff Neal's shin against that tendency. Do you remember what Kevin Lee did to that undefeated prodigy? Mike Perry is still awake. That's how crazy his chin is. Nonetheless though, he seems unable to handle the incoming onslaught. This brings us back to an old Charles Darwin quote. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. Mike Perry's physical ability is truly phenomenal, but Jeff Neal showed an ability to adapt. He read the fight and he adapted to a tendency. That was the difference. Running Mike into the kick, it was the first time in his career that Mike Perry was finished. Seeing this truly did hurt me. I like Mike Perry a lot, and to a lot of us in this niche, he's a national treasure for his authenticity.
They were asking about coaches, what do you think? When your coaches are yelling at you in the side because they're telling you to do stuff? And I'm like, I wish I could just be like, shut up, yo. We're both tentative, trying to get to each other, and you gotta feint. You just keep and neither person wants to go first because then might get caught. And they're yelling, go, Mike, you gotta go. And I'm like, you go. I don't want to get hit right now.
I'm gonna try to get my English accent going, mate.
I think that was a girl, actually, Burl. Her name is Burl. Girl, your name is Terrible. Burl.
I think my body's a little stuck right now. Hot tub's full. Santiago's in there with a bunch of his boyfriends.
Thoughts on black people? Love them. Most of them. Some of them. Thoughts on white people? Love them. Most of them. Some of them. Thoughts on anybody? I don't like anybody.
Five, 4, 3, 2.
It's just fun listening to the man. He's very real. Every time he opens his mouth, it's as if he's offering the world the treasure of authenticity. Definitely a real one. Nonetheless, though, this grand stage is absolutely ruthless, and as Mike Perry had said himself, just putting in physical hard work is not enough. Being able to adjust to the ruthlessness of nature is just as important. Thank you, Mike Perry and Jeff Neal, for this lesson. If you'd like to help me reach my goal of 1 million subs, please subscribe and hit the notifications. Thank you if you did. It truly does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma, and until next time, peace.